Hello everyone, I'm Greg Luke, thank you for joining me, and welcome back to episode 85 of Factorio with the C-Block mod, where we are trying to design a setup for producing trees, basically. And for that, we need a lot of mud, and that's what we're trying to figure out how much space that would take. Because we need 17 of these lines to produce all of the mud needed. If we just pin this, it would be a little bit easier. So yeah, 17 of each of these production facilities, and there's one of each in each row of these, so we need 17 rows. We have 10 rows here, and I was considering doing it up here. Which would be okay, I guess. Or we could try to do a mirrored setup. So something like this. Let's just try this out. Now that's 20 rows, right? And more than we need. This would be 18, and I guess that's fine. We can just remove one of them if we want to. Something like this. That doesn't take up a lot of space out here that we might need for anything else on the bus from here on out. So that's a good thing. Only question if these needs to be expanded at some point, but I don't think they need to expand that much, hopefully. So this would be able to produce mud and saline water. And for saline, we need the saline water for the brown algae. At least some of it, only a little part, I guess. I think that's everything for trees figured out. Well, no, it's not. But we have this part done, basically. Then we need to figure out this part up here. Should we just start with the mud, though? Get that set up. That seems like we could get into trouble with that approach. This is actually also a very big part of this setup, 64 machines. Again, we have considered other ways to make compost. It's just very hard to get a good idea about it from all of this. We could do it from green algae instead. Dang it. Didn't want to do that. So we need this part. We could do it from green algae. But that takes even more machines. If we want to do it with the tier 1 recipe at least. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Could do it with the tier 2 recipe, and that is a lot less, or a lot fewer machines. But then we also need, again, I've said this before, but the liquefaction and crushing of slag and production of slag and production of carbon dioxide. So this is a lot more complex, and I don't think it's really that much smaller than, was it 64 of these? Because then we have 24 of these instead. So I don't want to do that. And I'm not going into too many of these other ones because that's just... It's a little bit hard to, well, guess how efficient this is. Maybe we could look into this though. That's still a lot of machines. Can we make this from brown algae? No. All of this is farming stuff. We don't have that yet. Apparently you can make 5 compost into 1 compost. That's a bit stupid, but I guess if you have too much and need to get rid of it, that's how you do it. So yeah, this really just seems like the best solution. Could of course also just go somewhere entirely else to make these trees and just bring it in by one belt. We could remove all of this old setup stuff and this. We have a lot of space there that is not really used. Or maybe it is. That is our startup production that is reliant on that. And our lead plate. But we could pretty easily remove most of this. And we could just start up here. Then we would of course need to move our pipe production somewhere else, but that's fine. But let's just have a look at how much space this would take up if we wanted to do it anywhere around here. So for each of these... Well, for each of these we need 4 of these, right? 16 to 64. I'm just rounding this up. Do we have a composter? I'm not gonna go check that. And we still get 2 belts out of this. This be a good idea? It's hard to say, really. But if we could do it with this... How many is that? 16, so we need 4 times this. So that is 64, right? Yeah. Then we have compost. That's everything down here done. Then we need the mud and the compost put into this. 150 of those. We could try designing that. Or we could just not do it here. If this goes up here, it seems pretty natural that this would go in at the end of that. Or would it be better to split it up into 2 more rows? Go for something like this. That is wider, of course, and takes up a little bit more of the potential length of these setups. But I would really rather not have to deal with this. Yeah, I do think we're going to do this somewhere else. Then we bring the trees to the bus, and then we have iron here to make saw blades that we can then cut the trees with. Yeah, that seems to be the best I can come up with at the moment. So I think we're cleaning all of this up now. Or we could try building it down here. What would take the least amount of time? And what would be better for future organization? We do have a lot of space down here. If we're not using it for something like this, we just reserve it for a lot more belts, and we're never gonna get down here with that many belts. But we do reserve a little bit of space for more belts, both from smelting going up and on the bus. Sure, that seems like a good idea, but it does mean that we need to kill more biters. Or worms. So let's maybe just get on with that. I'm a little bit tired of stalling, so yeah, let's get some work done. We need a lot of sand, landfill, and ammo and stuff. Turrets. So turret and landfill we can find up here. Let's start with that. Good. Landfill. I almost already forgot again. Let's just put some more land down here. That is not a lot, but do still have some laying around in other places. That's probably more than enough, I hope. So ammo. That's probably fine. Good. So how far out would we want to go? Probably somewhere in this area. Can we actually copy the water? Well, some of it. But... oh, because we can put water down and we can't put deep water down. Okay. I guess that makes sense. How far are we from actually being able to put water down? Because if we can do that, we don't have to worry about how much land we put down. So, what's it called again? Uh, no, explosive excavation. I thought it was called. Maybe we already have it though. No, that's cliff explosives. Excavation, nothing. I'm pretty sure we've researched it, so let's just have a look down here. I think it was some long yellow dynamite or something like that. But it might have been researched with something else then, or maybe not. Was it just the mod that's called explosive excavation then? Maybe. Not just called water fill or anything like that, right? No. Nano explosives, no. Cliff explosives, normal explosives. Why can't I find this now? It's not in here, right? No, not with explosive at least. I'm not sure what it's called. That's so stupid. I'm wasting time, as always. Oh, here it is. Blasting charges. So we need ablative weapons testing for that. Now I want to do that first. Dang it. So we can do cliff explosives already. Sulfur, charcoal, purified water. How much of a problem is it that we are throwing sulfur away at the moment? I wonder. Because we are flaring sulfuric acid, and that's basically just sulfur. Hmm. Could do all of this in a small amount at least, not in an automated setup if we wanted to. Because we can store some sulfur in here. And is this a problem I'm looking at where we don't have enough sulfuric acid? No, it's just a output problem, okay. I guess that makes sense. We could also just try being careful with how much landfill we put down. So this would need water at the edges, left and right of it, or top and down of this. This doesn't need water because it just needs the saline water from the other setup. And maybe we could even get away with using groundwater bores if we have to. So I think we're just removing these worms and not thinking too much about it. Because I'm tired of thinking. Okay. I need some fish. Are there any normal fish nearby? No. I think we have some in a chest. Yes, good. What is the range of these things? Would they attack anything over here? But let's try it anyway. We need to activate our robots. Stop shooting my stuff, please. And let's heal these up. Good. So we take the behemoth now. Did I run into it? Dang it. Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, we got them at least. Do we have access to more advanced military stuff, or do we need the ablative weapons testing for that as well? I'm mainly thinking about sniper turrets and rifles, but yeah, we do need military science for that. Too bad. Let's just minimize that one for now. And we got ourselves a level. I think we have enough inventory space for now, right? So let's do run speed on with a couple of levels at least. Because that's always helpful, both with building and with killing worms and stuff. I need this in the junk. Not sure why I'm not just using the nanobots for this, but too late now. So we have another behemoth. Let's take that first. Actually, we should probably just make this area larger, so I don't have to get as close. Okay. Let's take this one. Just trying to remember to pick up the artifacts, because otherwise we'll just get them in our inventory at annoying points in time, or all the time basically. Can you reach? No, good. Oh, you can. Never mind. I don't have enough ammo for this, dang it. My stuff, please. So maybe I'm just putting in too much of this to the turrets, because I am trying to distribute everything instead of just half of it. We need to kill this as well. Then we may have enough space after that. One. Good. So we need this, and that doesn't need to take up too much space. Do we want to do it all in a row though? We should probably basically reverse engineer this and figure out all of this stuff first, because we want that closer to the bus. So let's start with that, I guess. And again, we don't want to go too close here, so let's actually just start around here. Oops, dang it. I like nice clean edges, so I am just trying to keep this. Dang it, I did it again. Oh, maybe I should just ignore that. So the last part is the arboretums. Let's start with those then. So they need more than one belt of soil in, and half a belt of this. Do we want the other half belt of this to be the rest of the soil then? I'm not sure. Let's see how many machines we can get in a reasonable amount of space. So that's only 16. So I don't think we want all of this to just be 2 rows and have all the resources in between on as few builds as possible anyway, because this will be a very large setup then. How far do we want to go though? 32, how many would we need? 64, 128, 256. That's what, 8 of these setups? I can't calculate. Oh, yeah, do math at the moment. 32 in each of these setups. Please clear. By 8. Yeah, and then we don't need the last one necessarily. Then we have at 100 or 224 instead of 225, and that's probably okay. Then we don't exactly have a full belt, but I can live with that. So 7 of these setups. Then we would want them to be as narrow as possible. And we would just want 1 belt of input then, right? Because we only need 1/7 of this. We could also try to get this into the same setup and only have the soil on a belt, because then we can directly insert the tree seeds. But we need 4 of these for each one of these. Did we get the machine? Yes. They need water as well, that's a little bit annoying. We can't transfer water from this, right? If we got water in out here, could we get water out here? Probably not. On the other hand though, we can do groundwater bores. Each of these do not require a lot of water, right? No, definitely not. Could we get it all squished together like this? That is a question. It's so hard to see where these algorithms start and stop. But I guess it's with these double scaffolding or whatever you call it. So we could try and do something like this. With 1/7 of all the soil we need, which is what combined 28.2, so 2 belts. Yeah, so we just need 1 belt for this. Dang it. Don't think I want it here though. Or do we? We could input to that machine from there. No, that's just gonna be annoying. Can we do it in the middle? And move one of these out 1 tile to get space for water in. Maybe we'd have to do something like this, I guess. I don't think we can squeeze everything in here. At least not easily. But let's still try. So we need to output from that into these machines. And we need to output from the belt and into those algorithms. What about the output from the algorithms then? We could put it on the outside. Could also make a little bit more space in between here. What if we had the output going around in here? Water coming from right there. Output into those from that in there. And then we need all of the algorithms to output to this belt instead. And input from this belt. So longhand. It's a little bit tough for me to distinguish between the transferring inserters here and the actual inputs and then the outputs. Oops. So that's transfer. Let's call that in then, and then this is out. We could also try to keep it a little bit more symmetrical, so like that. How is that? Would that work for us? Need to power everything, of course. That seems to be quite easy. Or at least easy enough. It's not the prettiest in the world. Disable butts. And I put this down here. Let me out, please. Something like this. That should work right. Then we only need the water on the outside. Then we're rid of this part of the setup that we would otherwise have to have on a different line. We could of course also just move him apart one more tile, then we could have better symmetry. But if we need 7 of these next to each other, I think I want them as close as possible. It is only 7 tiles that we're saving then though. So this width, all in all, maybe I would rather have them look pretty then. But let's just keep that there for now. And just experiment a little bit more over here. Oh, we will have to redesign some of it at least. Not sure about the belts then. Could just have 3 belts, so input here on both sides and then the output in the middle. Would that work for us? It takes up more belt and it is wider, but it is prettier. Is the prettiness that important to me? It's a tough one. We could make all of this a little bit better. Transfer. Transfer. Input, 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 input. And then we need the input into this. And I will want to do something like that, but then the water is gonna be a problem if we need the output to be in here at least. And we would want output, 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 output there. Just a blueprint, please. No, that doesn't work either. We really do need to have this here somehow. I guess we would just have the input there. That's just not symmetrical, and that's why I'm trying to avoid it, but I guess that is the best I can do. We could put it in here, I guess, but then it's not a good rotation, and it's still only taken from one of the belts. No, we can't put it there because we need to have a belt here. This seems to be the best solution. We should have more than enough capacity on this belt anyway to use a little bit extra in here and in all of them. So is this that much better that we want the wider setup for it? This isn't even correct. We need this to be here instead. I'm gonna do this. This is pretty. I know it's stupid, but I guess some things just matter to me with how, well, organized it looks. Don't do that. Remove it, please. Thank you. We need water in for this. Just out of curiosity, how little water do these need? Not a lot. 50 every 30 seconds with a crafting speed of 0.5. So 50 every minute. So we can basically get enough water out of one of these for 60 machines. Yes. So it's just, then we don't have to worry about what we do with the water around all this. So that is not a concern here, at least. Okay, but we need this still to be a 32 setup, or algorithm setup, so let's go further. How many is that? 24, so we need another 8. So there we go. Of course, we could make it longer if we want to. Even after we are done with all of this, are we gonna use the space down here for anything else? Probably not. But then are we gonna use the space over here for anything else? Not that we have planned, so I think this is fine. I'm out of pipe, that's fine. Let's make the space for another 6 of these setups. And I'm just gonna guess that we need around this much. Can we try and make a nice corner this time? Yes, thank you. Even with a shared pipe for the water, we can still easily get all the water through for these machines, even from a groundwater bore. So that's 5. We need a little bit more space, and we need this gone. I guess we should do the cliff explosives at some point here. We can just do it manually. Well, at least manually put in the resources needed. Good. That should be 7, so 14 algorithms here. Yes. Good. So we have one part of it all planned now, at least. And I guess we have plans for some of this as well. We just need to move it. But unfortunately, that's all we have time for in this episode. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.